Hey everybody, Kendra here. So on my relationship blog page, I added a YouTuber his channel is called Jimmy on Relationships. At Jimmy on Relationships. I'll link it below. And I think it's really important to watch people who really dwell in the realm of only relationships and conscious relationships, and to get tidbits of information either on their social medias or YouTube, because YouTube's normally longer. Social medias are normally little nuggets of information. And I think it's just really helpful and important to get other people's opinions and other people's views and way of talking about relationships into your vortex and energy, so that maybe things land differently, or it opens up a new pathway of thinking or being, new rabbit holes, that kind of thing. I also wanted to talk about why the best books, in my opinion, for doing relationship work, either when you start a relationship, which is when I think you should do relationship work right away, right from the get-go, boyfriend, girlfriend, starting a relationship. If you see it, I guess, being long-term, because I think that it helps create a really solid foundation for your relationship to grow on, kind of like building a house. And for me, the two main people and books that I really love is Getting the Love You Want by the Hendrixes, and then all of the information, the books, the classes, the workshops, the free papers, the free PDFs, everything, information by the Gottmans. So the reason why I put them in that order is because I believe that the book Getting the Love You Want and the workbook that goes along with that, which you can do on your own. It's not going to be as exciting because if you don't have someone to do it with you, but it helps you really. This book helps people really get into the depths, the root of the attachment that they have with their caregivers, their life. It gets to the root of why things trigger them. It really gets to like the nitty gritty, the stuff that people don't want to look at, they don't know how to look at, and the stuff that gets in the way of having a healthy relationship that is really growth oriented. Now, then I think you move into the Gottman stuff. The Gottman stuff, and I say stuff because there's so much of it, I think that helps you have maintenance on your relationship. It helps you to implement new things and learn how to communicate. And, well, the Hendrixes teach you how to communicate too. The Gottmans also teach how to communicate. But it's adding to, it's like padding, right? And so if you think of it as a garden, it's like the Hendrixes, to me, it's like you're tilling the soil, you're weeding out whatever you don't want, you're building the parameter around your garden, you are choosing what seeds to plant where, you're putting the layout down of how you want the garden to look, how you want the irrigation to look, where you want it on your property. It's really like the basics, the foundation. And then once you have that, then you have the Gottman. And then it's like how to care for that. Like, what do we need to put on it during the winter? What do we need to help the garden during the summer? What do we need to help with it during the spring? What bugs can we add, or plants, or new little things like that? What kind of watering systems, or fertilizer, or compost? Like, it's adding to the garden, and it's making the garden really beautiful and lush, somewhere to be, somewhere that's an ecosystem where bugs and animals can thrive, and you just, as a human, really just love your garden, right? Like, that's how I see it, and that's what I want for people, right? So yeah, it's gonna be real shitty at first, because especially if you haven't done any work on yourself, and if you haven't done any work on yourself, I highly suggest going to a therapist individually, if you're in a couple, individually, and then doing the work on your own. And if it's still too much, go to counseling individually, and then do couples counseling, and then do the work in the books. Like, I guess in couples counseling, you could just tell your counselor and they'll probably do it. Like, be like, okay. But also, if you are in an abusive relationship, this doesn't apply, because abuse, emotional, mental, physical, sexual, financial, honor-based abuse, these things don't fly in this. Like, this stuff has to only happen in a safe environment. So anyway, it gets real shitty at first, because you're like, whoa, but then, you know, it feels good afterwards. It feels like you want to quit sometimes, but then you're reaping the rewards and it feels so good. You know, you're not in a relationship anymore and feel anxious, and you're dreading it, and you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, or, you know, you really want love but you push it away. So you start to heal those wounds, either by yourself, which can only go so far, because this in an intimate relationship really helps heal a lot of the wounds, right, with someone who's safe and wants to do the work with you. But you can go pretty far away on your own, and then just find someone who wants to do it with you. Okay, well, if you value the content I create, please like, subscribe, and share. Bye.